Hello. Today we're going to examine the process of logging in once you have salted and hashed your password. So please understand that this is meant to be the last in a series of videos. So what we have spent some time already doing is building out this page. And so we collected the username and password, stored it in a table, we salted it, we hashed it, talked about why those are good ideas. I'm now building the login page. So first thing I want to point out is how similar to the register page the login is, right? It's almost the same form. You can imagine some of that logic is similar. On the back end, there's this table, right? This is not an appropriate place to start because you have to have a table full of passwords before this works at all. So we've got unhashed, hashed, hashed, and salted. Just recapping. Also, how similar this page is to the previous one we were working on. Here's what I've got. So what I've done, literally, I started by, I just copied and pasted my sign up page because it's almost the same exact page. But what I did is I went to that form, I removed password to field because you don't need to verify the password on a login. So I ripped that out. That's the only difference. And up here, so up here in the PHP part, I created this little output variable because we've reached the point where we have to display some output like, hey, good job logging in, or bad job, try again. This little isSet block here is the exact same isSet block I had. I got rid of pass2 because it doesn't exist, right? So I've got a connect script, I've got some sanitized values, literally just copy and paste. Now the login part is not going to be terribly difficult. I'm just going to paste some SQL. There's no other if blocks in here, right? There's no like pre-existing set of criteria. So I'm going to paste. And basically the query looks a little like this. So it's just select one from YT login where uname is whatever and password is whatever. So it's a real simple query. You might be wondering why one. Well, you could do select star if you wanted to. You just have to return something, right? Because all you're trying to determine is there a username password combination which works. And so one is just about the simplest thing that you can return. And so that's basically how this works. You'll see there's some details which we need to cover in a minute here. It's also really important to understand how similar this is to the create account page. Now if I want to do something with this, I probably need to put an if block in here. So I'll say something like if MySQL num rows, and if that result has more than 0 rows in it, then that means that there was a matching username a matching combination of username and password. So if that did return something, there's other ways you could have written that, of course, always better ways than the way I do things for demos. Then I'll say success, and otherwise I'm gonna say it's a failure. So I don't know, fail, I guess, right? So either it works or it doesn't work. We have to have output here because I can't really verify any other way. And so I've got this output message. I'm gonna spit that out down below the form, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. This is just a debugging message for now. So I'll echo that out. And so now this is going to let us know how our login process is working. So basically simple query, and I'm just checking to see whether you got any rows or not. Based on whether you got any rows, I'm going to spit that thing out. So head on over here. Let's do a can ABC. Now this is a weird one. This is going to be super weird. This is actually going to work, but it shouldn't work. Right, it works because I look, here's can ABC, there's that row. Remember, this is from back before I started salting and hashing my password. So that row shouldn't even be there anymore. Right, and this one shouldn't really be there anymore either because I don't know what that was. And now, do you also remember that these are all the just hashed ones? Notice they're all the same. Remember, that's not even what we're doing anymore. In the most current iteration of what we did, this is the only valid password. That's ABC through a salt and a hash. The other ones were all like kind of just steps on our way to get where we wanted to go. What I mean by that, I'm literally going to go back to the register page. So in the register page, we salted the password with that string of gibberish, and we hashed it like that. So literally what I'm going to want to do is take those two lines, because I want to salt it and hash it the exact same way that I hashed it before. So my difference is, see this query right here? Not exactly accurate. What I want to do is I want to take the password, I want to salt it the same way I salted it before, I want to hash it the same way I hashed it before, and then so I want to use this value here. So I don't want to take that ABC password and run it in the query. I want to take the salted and hashed version of that ABC password and then use that for the query. And so it's really important that you understand that I'm doing some copying and pasting. I am very against copying and pasting more often than not, but it's actually critical here that you salt and hash the exact same way that you did it. And so if you're using random salts, there's going to be some kind of a query where you're going to have to pull up that salt for the user. But basically, if you're salting using a bad salt like this, that's what you got to do. So exact same processes that you did when you store it are the same ones you're going to have to use when you retrieve it. And now I head over here. And it's kind of a bad example. I probably shouldn't have done this exactly this way, but if I refresh, I think it's going to say success. And so you can't see that that's any different, but I'm telling you, yeah, I kind of botched that example because in the first case it was matching based on the unsalted, unhashed password, but given that I just got rid of all the other rows, the only one left is the salted and hashed password, and you can see that it's working. I guess if I wanted to prove you that it's possible that it doesn't work all the time, right? That user doesn't exist. You know my password, it's ABC. And that fails, right? But if I put in Ken and I put in ABC, you're just gonna have to kind of trust that some things are happening on the back end. But that ABC is getting salted and hashed the same way it was when it was stored. So I am now capable of logging in. So while it seems like kind of a weird thing, like how do you get the password, simple password like ABC to that? Well, the same way you did it when you stored it, right? So the same way you do it when you store it, it's the same way you do it when you retrieve it, and then from there, you've implemented a login. At this point, you have a table full of passwords which are not readily available to anyone who gains access, and we've now covered how you can store that and how you can retrieve it, and now you're well on your way to securing your application. Thanks for watching.